Well, Lyla and Jennifer are joining me on the couch. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Star. Lyla is with us, 10 years old. How can that be? Hi, honey. Can you say hi? Hi. She looks so pretty in purple today.
Hi.
There you
Hi,
go.
there you-
That's exactly right. Well, welcome back to the couch. It's been a year since we've seen you guys.
Yes.
Everybody good?
Yes. I'm doing
Okay.
pretty well.
Okay. And Miss Lyla, she's doing great?
She is. Yep.
Okay.
We
All
count
right.
our blessings.
Something new at your house. You're doing homeschooling now.
Yes.
How's that coming, Mom?
It's busy, but
Yeah.
but we've been enjoying it a lot. And just the younger two.
The younger two.
6-year-old and 7-year-old.
And
Yep.
Lyla takes the bus to La Crescent.
Yes, she does.
Tell
Yep.
us about her school setting.
She goes to La Crescent Hoka Elementary, and she is in 4th grade this year with Mr. Steffes. And she's in the regular classroom, I would say, about half the time. And about half the time she's with Mr. Jesse Stoics, in the special education classroom. And she loves school. It's her favorite. Like, she has so many friends there. She's been going there since preschool now, so this
She
will be her
probably
last
misses
year.
it today. There's a couple days off school.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So that kind of made it convenient for you to come in. If people don't know Lyla's story, we know it. Would you be so kind to share it with us, how things started?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I had a pretty normal pregnancy with her. She was our first, up until towards the end when I thought that maybe she wasn't moving as well as she should be. And so I went in and she wasn't moving as well as she should be, and they found she was really small and wasn't getting enough oxygen. So they said, I'm going to have an emergency C-section. And she was very small. She was 5 pounds, 0 ounces, and she made it to her due date. And she was only 18 inches long, and she was having difficulty breathing, among other things. She had a low platelet count, things like that when she was born.
Did they prepare you? Did the medical staff prepare you for what her health may be once she's born?
We actually did not know that she had anything wrong with her before she was born.
Okay.
So when she was born, we realized, okay, she's really small. She's
Okay.
not breathing well. You know, what's going on? So, of course, she had to go to the NICU right away, and they ran a lot of tests on her. And we found out 3 days later, after she was born, that she had trisomy 18. She has trisomy 18, it's called. It's a chromosomal abnormality, like trisomy 21 is Down syndrome. Trisomy 18 is just a triplet on the 18th chromosome instead of the 21st.
Boy, you got an education, didn't you?
We sure did. We were told that kids with trisomy 18 don't typically live very long, and that she would probably live a couple weeks, maybe a couple months if we're lucky. Her chances of making it to 1 year old was she had a 10% chance of making it to 1 year old.
I
So-
can't imagine hearing that news as a new mom and dad, much less having to share the news with your parents, with grandparents. How were you able to do that?
I internalized it a lot. It was so much for my husband and I. It was our first child, first of all, first baby, and then to be told that, I was so overwhelmed I couldn't share it with anyone at first. I shared it just with my immediate family, and then I didn't want to. I had to work through it myself before I could tell other
Exactly.
people about it and
Makes
understand
sense.
it. The day we found out was definitely the most devastating day of my life and my husband's. Our precious girl, we had all the normal, dreams you have for your baby. We thought weren't going to happen, and if they said if she did live, then she would probably be severely developmentally, mentally disabled. She probably wouldn't walk. She probably wouldn't be able to feed herself. Might have would probably have a feeding tube, be wheelchair bound. So even if she did make it, they didn't give us much hope for that. So,
Well, I can see right now that a lot of those things did not come true
right.
because Lyla walked in here with you
Yeah.
today. Yeah, and 10 years old.
She's 10 years old now. Yes. Yep.
Wow.
And she is thriving and doing really well.
I see she has some pretty special glasses.
She does. She got glasses when she was about 10 months old, I think. So, yep, she still has them. She had like one of her eyes crosses in if she doesn't wear them. Yep. Some other things with her. I mean, she's amazing. I mean, she's a miracle how well she has done. But thanks to Gunderson, they've helped with, all along the way, of course, and Children's Miracle Network.
Has she had, as far as her health progression has gone over 10 years, have you had stays in the hospital? What's been going on there?
So the first year was pretty rough because we found out she didn't tolerate breast milk and she was bleeding from different places and stuff. So we had to search around for different formulas. And she got a lot of urinary tract infections during her first year, bladder infections, because we eventually found out that she had an extra pocket on her bladder and she had what's called urinary reflux. Her ureters weren't working as they should be. So she was hospitalized, I think, maybe 4 times that first year because with a baby, if they get a urinary tract infection, it can become septic. It can be an infection that spreads to her blood real quickly as a baby. So
your routine at home did a 360.
Oh, absolutely.
Or 180. It just turned around.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of sleep probably for her first year.
Worry? You guys were worried?
We were always worried about how much she ate, and if she was getting sick with a fever, was she getting another bladder infection? And about how much she ate, because we were told she would, if she didn't eat enough, she would have to get an NG tube. So she would have to be fed, through a tube. So we really didn't want that. So I just remember counting the hours when we'd have to feed her, counting the ounces, how many she got in. I mean, our whole entire life revolved around her and making sure she was okay. But yet every time we went to the doctor, she would say, she's a miracle. I can't believe she's even doing what she's doing. So
reinforcing your faith, reinforcing that you guys are doing the right thing. Sometimes new parents that bring home a baby, you feel like all thumbs anywhere. You feel like, where's that nice nurse that was taking care of me for 2 or 3 days? Why didn't she come home with me? I mean, I can't imagine bringing home a little one. Yeah. And then having the issue of trying to remember exactly how many ounces, exactly what the last time she ate.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. And actually, they highly recommended that we give her a DNR status, which is a do not resuscitate status. So we took her home with that status thinking she's not going to live very long. We'll just do the best we can. And so
That was a good noise. Something is going on back on this phone back. We have the chill back here. Thank you guys for being here today. They're at the Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank. And what's happening is people are listening to our story and they're calling at 608-784-KIDS 5437. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital's Radiothon. We're visiting with Jennifer and Lyla and we're finding out Lyla's journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she's in what grade? 4th grade?
Yep.
And Mr. Steffes, he's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
And so that's your teacher. Lyla, do you like your teacher? Yeah, you do? And I bet he likes you too.
What's his name? Can you say Steffes?
Mr. Steffes?
Yeah.
Very good. When you're putting her on the bus, she rides the bus in the morning?
Yes.
How do you feel? Are you nervous? Are you used to it?
I'm so used to it by now. She's been riding the bus since she was 3. So I'm just happy because I know she's happy. Every morning when we get up, I say, let's get ready to go on the bus. And that perks her up every time. Bus, school. And then she says, Jessie. And then she names off a couple of her friends.
Of course.
Yep, her class has been amazing. They love her. I mean, she's like a superstar at school.
How did Children's Miracle Network get a hold of you? Did you get a hold of them? What do you remember? What happened at the first?
Let's see. Well, I think when we were first hospitalized with her, when she was in the NICU, she was in the NICU for 12 days. after she was born. And they were introduced to us by one of the nurses saying, if you need a meal voucher, because we were staying at the hospital.
Right.
They paid for all of my husband and my meals.
Did you know that the organization existed? Had you heard of them before?
I had definitely heard of Children's Miracle Network, yes. And I don't think I knew that Gunderson was a CMN hospital, but we were just relieved to have one thing off our plate.
You know now, don't you?
Oh, we know. Yes, they've helped us in so many ways.
What are some of the other ways that they've helped you?
So the meal vouchers for each time we stayed in the hospital with her, especially that first year we were in a lot, and then she had a big surgery when she was 10 months old to fix her ureters and her bladder by Dr. Londergan, and he fixed it. And ever since then, she's been good in that way. Meal vouchers when we were there for that. Also, one of the best therapies for her is music therapy.
This is about the third time we've heard that today, that music therapy is just huge in the lives.
Yep, it is. She just responds to music. She's always loved music. And it's helped with her speech and with her fine motor skills, gross motor skills. I mean, it helps in so many ways. And
how does that happen?
Music.
Does somebody come to your home? Do you go somewhere? What goes on?
Well, we, let's see, one year we did have somebody come to our home. So they came in and did it. But they also, it's Life in Harmony that we have gotten music therapy for her through. And they have a studio in West Salem. So we have gone there too for her sessions.
She probably loves it as an outing.
Oh, yes. Oh, if we would say music, it's time for music. Music, music. She would always know her therapist's name. And so that's been awesome. And it's something that is pretty expensive to pay for out of pocket. And we don't get a lot of support from, like, the state because we kind of fall in that, middle place where
Yes.
you don't get a... So, anyways... CMN has covered that every time she's been able to do music therapy, which has been a huge blessing, and she just loves it.
It's a blessing for you guys, but it is just such a treat.
Yeah.
That, you just can't imagine her not being able to enjoy and take in. And you see some progression from that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have over the last few years.
Yes, yep. And of course, she also has OT and adaptive phys and speech at school too. So I mean, they all come together and help. But I think music therapy is definitely her favorite. So the music therapy has been a big thing. Also, CMN has paid for her to go to a special camp for individuals with disabilities for 3 summers now.
Where is the camp?
It's right outside Wisconsin Dells, and it's Easter Seals Camp, Camp Wabeek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know that existed, or was that, you've been doing it for 3 summers?
3 summers, yep. And we didn't know about it until, 3 years ago. And Dr. Yedley and her care coordinator, Teresa Falk, kind of clued us in as to what that was. And it's awesome because every kid should be able to have a camp experience.
Now, how does that work? Do you take her there and do you stay, or do you leave, or?
We take her there, drop her off, and then she's there for 6 days.
How is that drive back home?
After we drop her off?
Yeah.
That first year I was kind of a wreck.
Yeah.
I was. I didn't know these people. Sometimes you have a hard time trusting people you don't know, but they're just awesome there. I mean, she had, I think it was like a 3-to-1 ratio, so her counselor and her and 2 other girls, and she's made so many friends over the years. And also, it's a blessing to us as parents because it's a time of respite during the summer. The summer can get really long. She really depends on her schedule during the school year. She loves having, that routine. So during the summer, it's a good thing for us too, as well as her.
And I think it would be a good thing if we hear the phones ring at 608-784-KIDS 5437. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. Visiting with Jennifer and Lyla from Brownsville. What's the rest of the family doing today?
They are chilling at home because little brother is sick today.
Ben's sick. Sorry to hear that. What happens with Lyla? Is she susceptible for catching colds? And
you know what? For a long time, probably her first 3-4 years, we were very nervous about her getting sick, and we hand-gelled all the time, but she seems to have developed a totally normal immune system at this point, so we don't worry a lot about it. She's been exposed to a lot of germs at school. We've had times where she's gotten very dehydrated from being sick, and we've had to take her in. But as the older she gets, the better she seems to handle illness. So, yeah.
What would you say to our listeners that are at home or at work or driving around trying to decide, should I call? What would you say to them to help them make a decision?
I would say, without a doubt, you should call and support Children's Miracle Network. It's awesome because they support kids that are in our area that really need the help. I mean, like for parents with kids with disabilities, there's a lot of things that you have to pay for above and beyond what you would have to pay for with a typical child. That's just how it is. It is what it is. And
well, we're in the first day of our 3-day event, and just the different circumstances that we've already heard about, helping fill the gap with insurance, with things that they don't
Absolutely,
cover.
yep.
Not being able to recognize certain therapies as something that would be covered. Not only therapies, but camps. And these things are really integral in the life of the child.
Yeah, I mean, and if it weren't for CMN, she wouldn't have had these things. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to afford it. She has an iPad provided by CMN that even has helped her with her therapies, helped her with her speech in a lot of ways an iPad can help. And so CMN has truly filled a gap that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to fill. So that's just for kids with, special needs. There's so many other types of kids that CMN helps. Any sick children here. CMN takes some of the pressure off, even just providing meals. It's just one more thing that you don't have to think about when you're completely overwhelmed with caring for your child.
And it may seem like small things, but it's really not. Like when you come into the hospital area, there's those red wagons. For an outpatient therapy for, little ones that come in for procedures and go back home. There's stuffies waiting for them, and color books and just things like that may seem like small little things. They all cost money, but they're all so important in the life of a child. Just getting their little mind off their troubles or what's about to happen. We had a couple of little ones come in today to visit with us on the couch with mom and dad, and they walk through the door and they get nervous immediately.
Yep.
Because
Lila's like that.
Yep. How'd she do today? Did she understand that she was coming for a visit and not for?
I don't know if she can differentiate, understanding if it was for, the Radiothon or for an appointment, but she usually says, go home right away.
Because she's ready to go. Right now she's over playing with some toys, so
Yeah,
she's in
she's
good
having a
shape
good
right
old
now.
time.
It's 608-784-KIDS-5437. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. This is your way of giving back, and we're so appreciative to that too, because who else can tell little Lila's story better than mom or dad?
Yeah, we love being able to help CMN. There's not a better place that you could contribute to.
Stay in touch because we want to know how that pretty little girl's doing.
Okay,
will ya?
I will.
All right, great.
Thank
You're
you.
listening to the Radiothon, CMN Hospital's Radiothon. Make a gift, put your money where the miracles are, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.
Thank you, Jody. 1:39, and hoping to keep the phones ringing. Our Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank right now still open, 608-784-KIDS, 784-5437. Make those phones ring this afternoon. The Cooley Region Chill manning the phones yet this afternoon until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Or if you'd like to text, you can do so. Text CMN Kids to 51555, or you can give online at our website, cmnhospitalsradiothon.com. Otherwise, that Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin phone line is open, 608-784-KIDS on the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon.